Seniors, pause whatever you are doing. This is critical news you must hear right now. If you have come across messages or headlines stating that you will not receive your May 2026 Social Security payments, take a second and listen attentively before you worry. In today's video, we are breaking down what is truly happening with the most recent SSA notice, what modifications may actually influence your payment schedule, and how to shield yourself from confusion and false information. Every year, announcements from the Social Security Administration can trigger concern, especially when speculation circulates online faster than reality. That is exactly why we are here, to provide you clear, straightforward, and truthful information you can depend on. We will guide you through who might be impacted, what official announcements actually state, and what measures you should pursue to guarantee your benefits arrive securely and on schedule. Most critically, we will assist you in avoiding scams and deceptive alerts that prey on seniors during periods of transition. Remain with us because grasping this could safeguard your income and your tranquility. And do not fret. We will clarify everything in plain language, step by step. If you find this video valuable, please like it so more seniors can remain informed and shielded. Let us begin this together. Let us begin this together. Now, I want you to breathe easy for a moment because I realize how unsettling a headline like this can seem. When you encounter something like, "You will not receive your May 2026 Social Security payments," it can strike you right in the gut. It can cause you to stress about bills, groceries, prescriptions, and everything else that relies on that monthly income. And that reaction is entirely natural. You have labored hard your entire life, and the notion of any interruption to your benefits is frightening. But here is what I want you to do alongside me right now. Slow down, draw a breath, and let us navigate through this peacefully together, step by step, like we consistently do here. Because the majority of the time, these frightening headlines are either misconstrued, inflated, or entirely deceptive. First, let us discuss something extremely significant. Social Security payments do not just halt without official confirmed communication. The framework is organized, timetabled, and governed. Millions of seniors rely upon it, and any genuine modification would never surface first as an ambiguous online caution or a viral notification. It would be plainly declared through official channels with comprehensive explanations and sufficient advance notice. So, whenever you encounter a sudden assertion like this without background, that by itself is a reason to halt and interrogate it. Now, I am not suggesting there are never any shifts in payment timing or processing. That would not be truthful. Sometimes modifications do occur, but they are typically minor, administrative, and properly communicated. For instance, if a payment date lands on a weekend or a federal holiday, the deposit might come earlier or slightly adjusted. That is not a forfeiture of payment. That is simply a scheduling modification. And a great deal of confusion online originates from people misreading these routine calendar adjustments as something more alarming. So, when we encounter a claim specifically declaring, "You will not receive May 2026 payments," we need to examine that thoroughly. Ask yourself, does this resemble a structured policy modification, or does it resemble something crafted to seize attention and generate fear? Because regrettably, fear-driven headlines circulate rapidly online, especially when they concern money and retirement benefits. Now, let us discuss how your Social Security payments actually function, because comprehending this grants you authority and tranquility. Most seniors obtain their payments on a highly predictable timetable. That timetable is determined by your birth date or your benefit classification. It does not shift randomly. The framework is constructed so you can organize your monthly finances with assurance. That reliability is one of the most robust features of the program, so when somebody implies that a complete month of payments is simply not going to occur, that contradicts how the framework is engineered to function. Consider it this way. If a massive organization accountable for millions of payments were to cease an entire month of deposits, it would not be a hushed rumor. It would be national-scale news. Financial institutions would be readying for it, and official agencies would be distributing repeated advisories far in advance. You would learn about it everywhere, not merely in a single viral post or message thread. So, if you are encountering this from social media, forwarded texts, or unconfirmed websites, I want you to approach it with prudence, not alarm, simply prudence. Now, let us discuss another crucial element of this situation because this is where numerous seniors become perplexed. Sometimes individuals detect delays in their payment and conclude something major has shifted. But in actuality, delays can happen for a handful of straightforward reasons. It could be a bank processing holdup, it could be an alteration in direct deposit timing, it could even be something as basic as a holiday moving the timetable by a day or two. And I recognize that even a minor delay can seem significant when you are anticipating your money. That is genuine. That is meaningful. But a delay is not equivalent to a cancellation or forfeiture of benefits, and that differentiation is extremely important to retain. Another matter we need to address is false information and fraud, because this is where circumstances become genuinely alarming. When speculation like this circulates, fraudsters frequently capitalize on anxiety. They might dispatch messages posing as official notifications. They might inform you that your benefits are suspended unless you verify personal details. They might even attempt to persuade you to click links or divulge sensitive data. And I want to be absolutely transparent with you here. No authentic government agency will ever request personal information in that manner through unsolicited messages, emails, or telephone calls. If you ever receive something resembling that, your wisest response is to halt, pause, and confirm through official channels that you rely on. Never hurry. Never respond in distress. That moment of composure can shield you more than anything else. I realize this is considerable to absorb, but I want you to feel comforted, not burdened. The purpose of this discussion is not to alarm you. It is to anchor you in truth so you can feel stable and self-assured. Now, let us discuss May 2026 specifically, because that is what this headline is referencing. At this moment, there is no confirmed official declaration indicating that Social Security payments will cease for a complete month. If there were any significant structural alteration like that, it would necessitate extensive policy communication and legal procedures long before it ever reached the public. So, when we encounter something this sensational without official substantiation, it is important to identify it for what it probably is: false information or conjecture that has been magnified as it circulated. But I also comprehend why this resonates emotionally, because even the concept of unpredictability can cause people to feel uneasy. When you depend on a fixed income, consistency is not merely convenient, it is vital. It influences your sense of protection, your autonomy, and your peace of mind. That is why speculation like this proliferates so readily. It connects with genuine worries. So, what can you do at this moment to shield yourself, not merely from bewilderment, but from tension? The first measure is awareness. You are already accomplishing that by watching this video. You are not responding impulsively. You are pursuing clarity. That alone positions you ahead of most false information. The second measure is confirmation. Anytime you encounter something distressing about your benefits, take a pause before responding. Grant yourself permission to cross-reference. There is no advantage to hurrying when it involves your financial well-being. And the third measure is dialogue. Speak with your family, your dependable friends, or anyone who assists you in managing your finances. Sometimes merely asking, "Hey, I noticed this assertion. Is it legitimate?" can instantly diminish worry and provide clarity. Now, I want to pause here and address you personally from one individual to another. If you are feeling anxious right now, that is perfectly acceptable. But I want you to realize you are not isolated in this. Numerous seniors encounter headlines like this and experience that identical sudden concern. And that is precisely why this channel exists, to deliver composed, transparent explanations when circumstances online become chaotic and bewildering. And if you're finding this valuable, please take a moment to like this video. It might appear insignificant, but it authentically helps more seniors discover this information instead of the deceptive posts that proliferate so rapidly online. And it communicates to me that you desire more truthful, straightforward updates like this. It assists us in maintaining this community robust and knowledgeable together. Now, let us proceed because there is something additional important we need to examine. Sometimes these varieties of speculation do not emerge from nowhere. They frequently originate from misinterpretations about policy deliberations, proposed modifications that were never enacted, or dated news being recycled and extracted from context. Over time, as that information gets distributed and redistributed, it loses precision and accumulates alarm. By the time it arrives at you, it may sound like a pressing alert, even though it possesses no genuine basis. That is why remaining grounded in official information is so crucial. But I also recognize that not everyone finds official documents simple to review or comprehend. They can be laden with technical terminology, and that can be aggravating. That is where conversations like this become valuable. We convert the complexity into something tangible, accessible, and personal. And I want you to absorb this very distinctly. Your benefits are engineered to be dependable. The framework exists to sustain you, not to produce sudden voids in your income. While no framework is flawless, significant disruptions are not something that would transpire silently or without anticipation. Now let us transition for a moment and discuss how you can safeguard yourself moving ahead, because that is truly what holds the greatest importance. You do not need to commit every regulation or policy to memory. What counts is that you remain attentive to patterns. When something sounds radical, like no payments for a complete month, that is your indication to halt and interrogate it. Genuine modifications are typically explained comprehensively and seldom arrive in the shape of sensational single-sentence cautions. Also, be cautious with relayed messages from friends or relatives. Even well-intentioned individuals can transmit inaccurate information without recognizing it. It does not render them mistaken or negligent. It simply signifies the internet can warp information extremely quickly. And if you ever feel uncertain, it is always acceptable to cross-reference through reliable financial institutions or official assistance channels. There is nothing improper with confirming something that impacts your livelihood. In truth, it is one of the wisest actions you can pursue. Before we proceed further, I want to reconnect with you once more. If you are still here alongside me, that demonstrates to me you value protecting your income and remaining knowledgeable. That is a powerful position to occupy. And I want to motivate you to remain with me through the remainder of this because what we are going to explore next will assist you in feeling even more assured in identifying false warnings before they ever produce tension again. And as we advance toward the concluding portion of this video, I simply want to recall something significant for you. Your financial steadiness matters. Your tranquility matters. And you merit clear information without bewilderment or anxiety attached to it. So, if this video is assisting you in feeling a bit more centered, a bit more educated, and a bit less troubled, then that is precisely the objective. And once more, if you have not already, please take a second to like the video. It assists more seniors like you in locating dependable information and steering clear of unnecessary concern. It also sustains this channel so we can continue delivering you updates in a composed, approachable, and simple-to-grasp manner. Now let us conclude this by consolidating everything and ensuring you depart from this video feeling assured, educated, and protected. Now, as we arrive at the conclusion of today's video, I want you to simply take a pause with me and genuinely absorb what we have discussed because this is not merely about one headline or one piece of speculation floating around online. This is about something considerably more significant. Your sense of steadiness, your tranquility, and your capacity to feel assured when you encounter news about your Social Security benefits. I understand that when you initially noticed a message like seniors will not receive May 2026 payments, it likely provoked considerable concern, perhaps even some anxiety. And that is a natural response. When something impacts your income, even the prospect of interruption can feel crushing. But what I trust you are carrying away right now is a more lucid understanding that not everything you encounter online is rooted in truth, and not every alarming headline mirrors an actual modification in policy or payment frameworks. What we have accomplished together in this video is decelerate everything. We have taken something that was engineered to generate alarm and instead examined it with composure, with reasoning, and with tolerance. And that carries more weight than anything else because anxiety proliferates rapidly, but comprehension shields you over the long term. One of the most essential things I want you to retain is that your Social Security benefits are not something that transforms overnight without notification. They are a component of an organized, legally administered framework that encompasses planning, supervision, and public disclosure. If there were ever going to be a significant interruption, something as grave as a complete month of missed payments, you would not be discovering it first through speculation, social media entries, or relayed messages. You would observe it through official declarations, news reporting from major outlets, and explicit directives from the Social Security Administration itself. It would not be understated, it would not be concealed, and it would not be ambiguous. So, when you encounter assertions like the one we examined today, I want you to condition yourself gently to hesitate before responding. That hesitation is influential. That hesitation grants you command because the reality is most false information relies on individuals responding hastily without confirming the details. And when you invest even a few additional moments to reflect, to breathe, and to examine the origin, you reclaim that authority. I also want to address something more profound here because I realize this is not solely about data, it is about confidence. Many seniors perceive that the landscape of news and online information has become perplexing, rapid, and sometimes even daunting. And that is precisely why channels like this one exist. To moderate the pace, to interpret complicated announcements into simple dialogues, and to guarantee you never perceive that you are confronting this in isolation. You merit that transparency. You merit feeling assured when you encounter something about your benefits, and you merit information that does not leave you feeling distressed after consuming it. Now, I also want to softly remind you that defending yourself from false information is not solely about what you consume. It is also about what you do not respond to. There will perpetually be fresh headlines, fresh cautions, and fresh assertions surfacing online. Some will appear pressing, some will appear specialized, some will even appear authoritative, but not all of them will be precise. And you do not need to engage with every single one of them. You are permitted to step away, you are permitted to confirm, and you are permitted to delay before accepting anything that generates anxiety. That perspective alone can shield you more effectively than any individual article or announcement ever could. And beyond that, I want you to contemplate the individuals around you as well. Perhaps you have companions, neighbors, or relatives who also depend on Social Security. Odds are, if you discovered this information puzzling or troubling initially, they might as well. So, one of the most beneficial actions you can pursue after viewing this video is simply communicate what you have discovered. Not in a manner that propagates anxiety, but in a manner that propagates comfort. Sometimes merely stating, "I investigated this, and here is what is genuinely occurring," can assist in soothing someone else's concerns just as effectively as it assisted in soothing yours, because that is truly what this is about, watching out for one another. And I want to take a moment to genuinely appreciate you for remaining with me throughout this complete discussion. It signifies a great deal because it communicates to me you value remaining knowledgeable and you value defending yourself from bewilderment. That perspective is influential. It maintains your steadiness in a world where information can sometimes feel crushing. If this video assisted you in feeling even slightly more at ease or provided you a more transparent understanding of what is genuine and what is not, then I am sincerely pleased you are here with us. And I want to motivate you to continue returning because we will persist in covering significant updates like this in a manner that is composed, truthful, and simple to follow. And before you depart, I want to request one small consideration from you. If you discovered merit in this video, please take a moment to like it. That straightforward gesture accomplishes more than you might imagine. It assists this message in reaching other seniors who may be feeling puzzled or troubled about the identical headlines. It assists in propelling composed, dependable information further than anxiety-driven speculation. And it assists in constructing a community where individuals watch out for one another instead of becoming disoriented in uncertainty. Also, if you want to remain current on significant Social Security news, modifications, and clarifications like this one, ensure you are subscribed and have notifications activated. That way, whenever something noteworthy arises, you will not need to hunt for answers. You will have them delivered directly to you in a manner that is simple to comprehend and liberated from unnecessary tension. And as you proceed with your day after viewing this, I simply want to leave you with this concluding reflection. Your benefits are something you have earned. They are something you have invested in throughout a lifetime of dedicated labor. And while the world surrounding you may occasionally seem saturated with bewildering headlines and fluctuating information, your right to comprehend your benefits transparently and to feel protected in them never diminishes. So remain educated, remain composed, and most importantly, remain assured. We will be here with you in the following video, deconstructing things step by step, precisely as we consistently do. Look after yourself, and we will see you shortly.